Hi everyone, Basil Chapman sitting for Tommy O'Brien. It's my pleasure to be here. I am the author of the Opening Call Daily Newsletter, and I have my show at 10 o'clock, the Tiger Technicians Hour, every market day. And let's get to the market. The Dow is up at 285, 44,540. It's hitting this trend line resistance. It made basically a double top. I'll just do this real quickly because it's what I've been discussing for some time, that there's a chance that we made a kind of internal high and then a residual high just below it, and that said they should pull back. But this, we've done the same type of thing over here. That went sideways for a little while before it broke down, but so far this is... The Dow had been one of the weakest in then the Russell 2000. The IWM was the next one. IWM, in fact, it was much weaker than the Dow, but the IWM today is having a very nice move to the upside. IWM is trading up to 92 at 223.94. Very good action. Weekly chart, this is the daily chart on the left. Weekly chart with all Chapman wave notation. On the right is the monthly chart in a strong leg A to the upside. And we might be seeing over the next week or two going into August that the Russell 2000 small caps are actually starting to find their own way here under the conditions, with some of the leadership really getting extended, still acting very well. Let me just show you the S&P made a new high today. So that we are long, in fact, 4 or 5 of our positions are at all-time highs, but I thus thought that there was this potential for a triple top right here with the resistance line that the S&P would pull back. It did pull back. We had just a small 3 times long position in the S&P, the short position, SPXS, made 2% a little bit, and then got taken out 2 pennies lower, so it was really more waste of time than anything else. But here we are at a new all-time high. And this particular pattern here is something that has to be monitored very closely, because if there is a spike from 6303 to the 612 area in this particular up move now, there could be a new wave count completely, because we've taken out the trough from D. I don't want to in my show tomorrow, I'll go through it much more carefully and the 10 o'clock hour. It's actually Fridays are technical Fridays. Chapman wave methodology gets explained in detail. So it would be a good time to listen. So here we go. QQQ, as I said, all-time high. S&P all-time high. Dow's not there. The QQQs are there. They've just recycled. So this is now E, A, F, G, G/C. This is now a leg D, a new leg D. G/C goes to a D. Just, you don't have to know about that. Just to say, excellent action. Look at this weekly chart. This is only the second leg up. The first one ran from 400 all the way to 5, I think it was like 530. Pulls back for 1 week. This is a weekly chart, just a fraction, and then starts a new move. It's almost like a single move in the upside to a leg B. And in the buy mode, in the Chapman wave methodology, you anticipate at least 4 higher peaks. So C would be the next, and then D, and then other things can happen. But look at this. SMHs, the semiconductors. Semiconductors, this is still, it's the same thing, was barely a move. Peak A right there, and now it's in a leg B at all-time highs. This is quite remarkable, and the daily chart has not taken out 3 days ago, the high of 3 days ago, 293.20. It's the high today is 292.56, just underneath that, but it's acting very well. I'll come back to that in a moment. There was a question about it, and I do wonder, what am I skipping here? I did that. Yeah, NVIDIA is at an all-time high at 173.31. In a leg E in the daily chart, it's only a leg A from 86 every single week since it made that high in the week of the April the 11th. You can't count that as a peak because it hadn't started a right side move to the upside with a higher low. Now you can count, and the count is every single week there has been a higher high. So this is still leg A, becomes a peak A if there is a lower high on the next bar. And this is still amazing. The monthly chart has just broken all resistance levels. So that says that the support Shorter term support would be, it's at 173, between 162 and 160, closes under 160 and can go into an intermediate term, couple of weeks of digestive phase, but right now that's at all-time highs. I do want to go to gold. Gold's come back a little bit. It's down 14 after being down to the 33.14 level, right on the trend line, this Chapman Wave inside track propellant zone. I didn't put this in. It started to look a little messy, but I'll do it right now. So this is the line that I always draw in. And then I make a little narrow channel, and that channel becomes a propellant or a repellent, depends on the way up or down line. And there it is, held, and now it's pushed up. And the 9-period moving average is still weak, so we're going to have to see, because if gold goes under 3,300 in the next few days, then it's due for a little bit of a timeout, especially in this H pattern in the weekly chart. But so far, this is good action in that it's holding just sideways. It's really digesting huge gains. Silver, on the other hand, has a different chart formation. If I'm correct about this being a peak C, there should still be a higher high in silver in the continuous contract above 39.57. But if it suddenly at this particular point takes out 37 as support, it's at 38.43 right now, 31 cents. That's the problem. Look at the weekly chart, still very strong. Monthly chart took out a very long multi-year, almost a decade, I think it is. All the way back to 2013, 12 years. That's where it was, where the price is right now. That's where it was 12 years ago. Let's go to high-grade copper. High-grade copper is trading about unchanged at 5.50. The other thing we need to look at, and then I've got some questions that I'm going to get to. Oh, of course, the TLT. The TLT right now is trading down 13 cents at 85. The TBT, which is the inverse, is doing quite nicely. It did make a peak B. If at any point in the next few days, I would say if it goes above, but I would rather say that if it closes above 38.37, the high of the 16th yesterday, that would be very positive for the yields going up. We want to see yields going down. So this is something to be monitoring very closely. And when I talk about dark news index, this is something that I developed, a long time ago. Basically, you start to see sort of little wispy clouds, and then suddenly something becomes so dark that the market says, it's a problem. But it's not a one-off like yesterday when you pulled down and you came back up. It sustains itself, and that becomes a sell-off. We haven't seen anything like that for quite a while. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman sitting in for Tommy O'Brien. This is the Tom O'Brien Show. See you in a few moments. The Dow is up.
If you